G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Asshole, where on today's first story, OP asks if they're an asshole because they didn't go and visit their dad in hospital and instead went to a party, and there's a lot more to this story as there always is, so I want you to sit back, relax and enjoy. Let's go. Am I the asshole for still going to a party while my dad was in the hospital? We live in the same city. I am estranged from my parents, we have always had a difficult relationship. I went no contact with my parents about 3 years ago after we had a fight about if I was ever going to marry someone. They accused me of sleeping with men, being a degenerate, and some other accusations which were not true at all. It had been a long time coming as they had always disapproved of me pursuing a stressful career, which left me no time to have children and be a good wife. These are things I don't want. I have no interest in a sexual relationship or having children. I have tried to explain those things are not what I wanted in my life, but they never believed me at all. It was stressful and made me deeply unhappy. Honestly, the last 3 years have been the happiest in my life. My parents made me deeply unhappy about myself, and they make my self-esteem issue worse. No contact has been the best thing that I ever did. I was going to a small party hosted by my best friend. I was halfway there when my brother called and told me that Dad was sick and was being taken to the hospital. I told him that I was busy and asked him if he wanted money and told him that I would send some more money the next day. He was fine with it. This party was pretty important. My best friend and her husband had been struggling to get pregnant and she had miscarried once before. It absolutely broke them, but she is pregnant now, and the doc said the risk of miscarriage was mostly past, and they wanted to tell our little band of friends. I wanted to be there for her, and yeah, pandemic has not been easy for any of us. I really wanted to make some happy memories. My brother called me the next day, and he called me cold-hearted for not coming over to be there with Dad, and called me ungrateful. I think he saw the stories one of my friends posted. I feel guilty now. I should have gone, I think. I am his daughter, and he does care for me in his own way. I just decided on the spot that I would rather be with my best friend than my family. I feel it a bit of a selfish decision. Now in the comments, not the asshole. You chose to go to a party to celebrate someone else who has been a positive force in your life, as opposed to seeing your parent, of who you were in no contact with, and has treated you with a lack of respect in the past. There is nothing wrong with choosing found family over toxic blood relatives. I wouldn't feel guilty about it. If you want to reconnect with your parents, that is your decision. But just because your father is in the hospital doesn't mean you are obligated to see him. But again, how you choose to spend your time is your decision, and in my opinion, that time should be spent with family who appreciate and respect you. Not the asshole. You are no contact for a reason. A good reason at that. No contact means no contact. So what if it was a selfish decision? I don't think it was. But even if it were, you are allowed to make those decisions. Would your presence in the hospital really have changed anything for the better? Would it have achieved anything other than rug sweeping all the pain that they've put you through? Don't feel guilty. You chose to be there for the people who matter to you. That is not selfish. Not the asshole, your post comes across as if you feel guilty about not caring more. Don't beat yourself up. There is clearly good reason behind you going no contact. You can't just decide to care if at heart you don't. All you could do is pretend, and it's debatable whether that would help anyone. He does care for me in his own way. It's rather telling that you feel the need to justify that. And now on to the update. I got many supportive comments and I realized I wasn't in the wrong. I told my brother that I would send him all the money he needed for his treatment, but I wouldn't be visiting him or Mum. My dad recovered, but he was in a wheelchair for a while when he got out of the hospital. My brother contacted me and said that he wanted to talk to me, and he said my dad sounded really apologetic and he begged me to give him a chance. I did, and my dad apologized. He said he had been in a lot of pain, and he was scared that he would die while they took him to the hospital, and it made him realize that he would rather have me in my life than not. He said that they were willing to accept any decision I would take. They wanted me in their life, and they have missed me. I was moved, honestly. My dad never lies. He speaks what is on his mind, and I trusted him. I have been for 3 dinners, and they have been nice. I hope they continue to be nice. I love them, and I wish that I could go back to the relationship that I had in high school. Now in the comments, unfortunately, being near death is when most people realize they've been an asshole. Some are fortunate enough to survive to make amends. I wish you and your parents the best. It sounds like they legitimately saw the error of their ways. Yeah, my dad has been in remission for too long. He's back to being a raging asshole. Sadly, this is also what usually happens. I'm sorry your dad is back to being a jerk. Be wary, OP. Optimistic, but ready for disappointment is the way to go here. Hi, OP. Take the words from your dad with a grain of salt. Me and my dad never got along. He provided me with education and other necessities, not love or time. My dad had a near paralysis experience, 2 surgeries to his spinal cord that left him bedridden for months. The man that I've never seen cry broke down and said, "I should have spent more time with my son." I believed him, then as he got better, he reverted back to his old self. I'm glad this is a happy update, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but your parents are still reeling from his near-death experience, and their emotions are raw. It is still entirely possible that they revert back to the way they were when you cut them off. It is also entirely possible that you not being there was humiliating, and they are worried about outward appearances more than they are about reconnecting with their daughter. I know that you say your dad never lies, but dads also shouldn't treat their kids like crap, and your dad treated you like crap in the past. So just keep that in mind and don't be afraid to cut them off again if they default back to their asshole setting. Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for refusing to help my sister with homework?" I am the eldest child of my family. I am adopted, but I have a younger brother and sister, 16 female and 14 male. My grandparents favor their real grandchildren more. My parents try to protect me, but it would be cruel for them to reject all the things they do for my younger siblings. My grandma has a ring which is supposed to go to the elder girl, but I didn't get it when I turned 18. Grandma gave it to my sister when they visited last week. I was massively pissed off. They did it while I was there, and it hurt. I never expected to get the ring, but it still made me feel sad. My sister noticed it, and she teased me about it a little. She said she was their favorite, and they gave it to her because she was blood. I still don't know why she would say all that. I was close to crying. I am used to BS from my grandparents, but I'm not used to being told I am nothing by my sister. Mom shut her down, but yeah, I just feel like really alone. She asked me today to help her with homework, and I just couldn't do it. She was pushy about it and made me angry that I had to help someone who didn't think of me as family. I said I had better things to do. She could see that I was lying. She kept asking, and I told her that I was only willing to help people who are related to me by blood. And she was not that. She called me jealous and went back to her room. She has been quiet lately. She doesn't talk to me. It screws me up that she is saying all these things, and I reacted just like she did. I lashed out at her and said mean things when I could have just lied a bit better. My dad thinks my sister should grow up, but my mum thinks I should have just helped her. I feel like an asshole because I lashed out like a 16-year-old. Now in the comments, not the asshole. Has she even apologized? Kind of presumptuous of her to decide that you should help her and give her free labor after being really unkind to you and making you feel like you aren't part of your own family. Sounds like little sister is being poisoned by the grandparents. Your parents need to shut that crap down now, not the asshole at all. I'm sorry your sister is a massive asshole to you. The parents won't do anything because they stand to inherit a substantial amount, according to OP. So they're throwing OP under the bus for money. Oh my god, that's just disgusting. I hate people a little more every day. Not the asshole. Refusing to help someone with their homework doesn't make you an asshole. No one is entitled to help for their work assigned to them. It would be nice of you to help, but you are not obligated to. I would first just communicate with your sister how you felt about the ring incident and how you felt by your sister teasing you. Just be honest, communication is key. Now about your grandparents, I understand that you feel sad you did not get the ring, but would you even want a ring from people that don't even see you as an equal? I certainly wouldn't want anything to do with them. You deserve respect and people who treat you like they treat themselves. I would find friends that are not prejudiced and respect you, because sometimes friends are better than family. Not the asshole. A basic rule of teasing is you don't hit someone where it really hurts. What she said was really, really cruel, and 16 is well old enough to deal with the consequences. Are you always expected just to ignore her awful behavior and make her life as easy as possible? And now, on to the update. Thank you for all the comments. It helped me keep my resolve while my parents were pressuring me to help my sister. I was talking to my best friend about it, and she said that I should leave and come stay with her. She talked to her parents, and they called me and said that if I wanted to move in, they will always have a room for me in their house. I accepted. I moved out about 2 weeks ago. My parents are not happy, but I think my grandparents are probably happy. My sister calls me a lot. I don't pick up most of the times. It is brutal. She keeps telling me that she misses me and apologizing, and she wants me to come back. I don't think I will be going back. Of course you miss someone who you lived with for your whole life, but I'm not reading too much into it. My grandparents have said a ton of mean crap to me, and it has never hurt badly, but yeah, when she said that, I think I really realized I would never fit in there. I think my parents do love me, but I don't think they would have adopted me if they knew my sister was just around the corner. Their own flesh and blood. I am pretty numb to it. I love staying with my friend, as it's great. She is a blessing. Now in the comments, good for you for getting out of that toxic mess. Your parents have failed you by not protecting you, and I'm glad there's somewhere safe for you to live. Those parents dropped the ball big time. You don't get to treat one of the kids as less than and still have access to the rest. My son is not my husband's child, but he made sure that he was treated the same as our daughter. Hell, I have a niece that is technically not family, but we just lost her loser father and kept her. Your sister is immature, and when you are ready, re-establish a relationship with your family. Your parents should have squashed the grandparents years ago and let this hateful seep in. They should squash it now and blame the grandparents for causing this divide. Exactly. The fact that the parents didn't go no contact with the grandparents the first time they ever treated OP like trash makes them enablers and culpable just as much. The fact they had OP convinced it would be cruel to keep those hateful people away broke my heart and pissed me off all at the same time. Just awful parenting. Like, I'm horrified that your parents allowed that kind of behavior from your grandparents. Horrified and angry. How dare they? How dare they bring a child into their home, profess love to said child, and then allow the child to be bullied, and stand by and say nothing? I'm so happy you found a place where you're happy and loved. My heart goes out to you. And our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for ruining Thanksgiving dinner, even though I was just defending my girlfriend from racist comments? For a bit of background info, I, 23 male, am white, and my girlfriend, 22 female, is black. My grandparents are extreme racists, and although it's just the two of them, they are the loudest and will find any opportunity to let everyone know that they hate non-white individuals. Because of this, I am not that close to my family, especially my parents, as they never say anything about it and even laugh at racist jokes. I don't go to family gatherings or parties because 1, my girlfriend is black and I don't want her to be subjected to straight-up harassment by racist family members, and 2, I don't want to be around racists and people who tolerate racism. A few weeks ago, my parents invited my girlfriend and I to my family's Thanksgiving dinner. This was a huge shock to us, as ever since my family found out we were dating, they stopped contacting me and cut me off financially. I was a bit hesitant, but my girlfriend insisted we go, as I had gone to her family's Thanksgiving dinner last year, and that if anything went wrong, we could just go home. When we showed up, the majority of my family greeted her, but my grandparents stayed seated on the couch and refused to even look at us. When it came to the dinner itself, my parents started asking my girlfriend what she did for a living, and just the typical get-to-know-you questions. My girlfriend told them that she was a college graduate and is a registered nurse. My grandfather chuckled and said, "Of course it is." The table got kinda quiet after that, and even though I hadn't touched a single thing on my plate, I started gathering my stuff. Granddad said, "Are you seriously leaving?" No answer. "You know what? Get your stupid, slur for black people, out of here. It was never invited anyways." My girlfriend ran to the car, and I completely blew up on my parents and grandfather. A lot of my family members were also defending her along with me, and some people just left. I told him never to talk to me ever again, and that I would never be coming back to any other family gathering. My dad tried pulling me to the side to get me to calm down, but I blew up on him and my mum for even inviting me in the first place. They knew my grandfather would say something, and the fact that they weren't even defending my girlfriend when he said that pissed me off even more, and I stormed out. My girlfriend and I just got home, and when we both calmed down, I apologized to her about everything. But I got a phone call from my dad. I thought he was calling to apologize for everything that had happened, but instead he yelled at me for ruining the Thanksgiving dinner and told me that I overreacted and that I should have just left. He said that I just made everyone hate my grandparents and that he was born in a different times, so I should have just let him be. I have gotten texts from my mum and sister telling me to come back and apologize to my grandfather. In my opinion, I did what I had to do in order to defend my girlfriend. But am I the arsehole here? Did I overreact? Should I have just left? And now in the comments, not the arsehole. Your father and mother are equally on the same hook as your grandparents. I hope you see that. He may not be as overt, but as the Germans say, when a Nazi sits down at a table of 10 and nobody says anything, there are now 11 Nazis. Shout out to the other family members though. Hold your ground and do not apologize for a damned thing. I am so goddamn sick of "they're from a different time." No. They live in this time just like all of us. They are making a conscious decision to be racist assholes. If anything, they had more time to learn not to be racist. They literally lived through MLK and the Civil Rights era. If 1 million people marching on the Capitol doesn't wake you up, 40 more years won't do a thing. Exactly this. Anyone who is old now spent their years as a teenager/young adult during the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s, and then experienced the women's liberation movement in the 70s, the gay rights movement in the 80s and 90s, etc. If they lived through all of that and managed to learn nothing, that is on them. Not the arsehole. Quote, "He said that I just made everyone hate my grandparents." No. Your granddad did that to himself. They can't blame you for this. Actions have consequences. These are just the consequences of his actions. Not the arsehole. Your grandfather is though. Before you ever apologize to anyone, your girlfriend is owed a huge apology for the way your grandfather acted. Dehumanizing her is okay with them, and you didn't make anyone hate your grandfather. He did it himself. And that "he was born in a different time" comment is bullcrap. OP replies, "Yeah, I'm definitely cutting them all off. They're basically saying they're okay with her being dehumanized. Absolutely disgusting." And now back up to the post. Update. Blocked my parents, sister, and grandparents, contacted everyone who defended my girlfriend, and we are planning on throwing another dinner on Sunday. I guess things turned out well in the end. And that, my dear friends, is where we end the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. It does help the video do better in the algorithm so we can bring more people to the community. Apart from that, I have not much else to add besides I hope you guys are having a wonderful festive season this December. If you're needing more of a distraction from reality, I'll be putting out different kind of content too that will be different from audio content on different channels. Besides that, I hope you have a good day or night or sleep or just whatever else you're up to, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.